All right, awesome. Let's talk about sick, nasty pumps or just ways to increase blood flow, right? So in the last episode, I spoke about selectively restricting blood flow as a training mechanism, right? Or blood flow restriction training, BFR, and I broke all that stuff down. And so now in this episode, I want to talk about the opposite, increasing blood flow. Increasing blood flow for everybody, better, which in other words is better circulation, right? But better circulation for all, even if you have good circulation, right? There's benefits in that, and there's reasons why you will want to do that, even if you have good circulation. But it's funny because the way this topic actually came up, I wasn't going to do this. But the way it came up was as soon as I posted the previous episode where I was talking about blood flow restriction training, and I was talking about restricting blood flow, my whole social media was flooded with, like every single site was flooded with all this stuff, reels and videos and shorts and everything like that of ways to increase blood flow. So I'm just sitting there like, maybe you're trying to tell me a message, but I was just like all the social media. Okay, it's a different topic, but just don't get me started on it. Now, so why would you want to increase your blood flow? How do you do it? Are there any supplements that help you with that? So we're going to dig into all of that stuff, all right? So let's jump in, all right? So when I say blood flow or good circulation, what do I mean exactly by that, right? So what I'm basically saying is good circulation in general, right? Blood flow in general is the ability of your blood to move through your veins, your arteries, and your capillaries freely, smoothly, and without obstruction, okay? So that's circulation. That's blood flow, all right? Now we want to... And let me just make sure that's how I'm framing. That's what I mean by blood flow or circulation, okay? There's other nuanced definitions of it and all that fun stuff. I'm not trying to get too sciencey, but I might end up anyway. We'll see, okay? But that's what I mean, right? Blood moving through your veins, arteries, and capillaries freely, smoothly, and without obstruction, okay? Now, why is having a decent blood flow or decent circulation, why is that important? Well, that's important for about like 5 reasons, right? First, oxygen delivery. Oxygen to the cells, oxygen to the muscles, oxygen to the tissues. Good circulation gets oxygen to where it needs to be, and we need that stuff, right? Beyond that, it also carries nutrients and hormones, right? That's a twofer, right? Getting nutrients where they need to be, all over the place. Getting the hormones where they need to be, all over the place, right? The third one, it removes it. That's also where your waste is carried. So all of the byproducts, for instance, let's just go over the metabolites again, right? There's a lot of byproducts that come from working out, produces the metabolites. You got to get those things out of your blood system, your bloodstream, though. So there's also a process in which the blood is cleansed and it removes waste and toxins from your body through your liver, kidneys, so on and so forth, right? White blood cells and other like immune cells are transported to sites of infection or injury. So obviously you get why that's important. So, and proper blood flow or decent circulation is also really important in maintaining your core body temperature, right? So it distributes heat to all places that it needs the heat. We need the warmth. That's good for us, right? The cold is not so great for us, right? In the sense that if you have cold, well, I'll get into that. So it basically does proper circulation, decent blood flow. That's why you would want it. Those are the 5 reasons why you would want it. Oxygen delivery, immune cell, and white blood cell delivery, waste and toxin removal, nutrient and hormone delivery, and maintaining core body temperature, right? Those are the things. So obviously thinking on the opposite of that, like having poor circulation could have a substantial negative effect on your overall health and wellness, right? And that list is a very long list. If you have poor circulation or poor blood flow, the list of terrible things that could go wrong or that are likely to go wrong with you, I mean, that's longer than my honey-do list for before the holidays. So it's just like we have to be able to get decent blood flow, decent circulation. So like, and I'll even go over a few of those things. I had a lot of them written out, but I was just like, okay, no, I don't need to go over the whole list. But listen to this, right? Poor circulation basically leads to potentially numbness or tingling in the hands or feet, right? Because you're not getting anything in the smaller capillaries in your hands and feet, right? Coldness in your extremities, because remember, we're transferring heat, keeping your core body temperature up there, but it's also for your extremities as well, right? Swelling in the legs or ankles because fluid accumulates in the tissues. So a lot of stuff is not being taken away. It's just pooling there, which, that's not good. That's not good. You get muscle cramps from lack of nutrients, fatigue from the lack of oxygen, dry, itchy skin because you can't get any nutrients or anything like that or any fluid to your skin, varicose veins, digestive issues, cognitive issues, erectile dysfunction. Like the list is ridiculous, right? And there's about like 10 more. I'm not going to go over every single one of these, but it's just like this list is basically worse than one of those, that side effect list on a prescription commercial. Like it was like, listen, you're also going to get blindness in your right eye, which I think is possible. And he's like, and then death. So like this list is bad. Poor circulation, not good for you. So we want to look at ways to increase your circulation and to increase your blood flow, no matter where you stand, no matter where you are on your fitness journey, no matter where you are in life, right? This could have some pretty decent benefits for you. Even if like you have decent blood flow, but you're an athlete, oh man, there's so many benefits on that end as well, right? And we're going to get into it. So you have an idea, right? An idea of what decent, just average circulation does for you. You have an idea, a little bit of an idea of what poor circulation does for you, right? And you probably have a better idea of what that does than the other. But now it's like, why would you want, let's just say you're completely healthy. You have decent blood flow, you're average, right? And you're fine. All your blood markers are good. Everything's good. Why would you want increased blood flow, right? And there's a few reasons that I found to be the most compelling, right? So if you have an increased blood flow, that means everything is getting to where they need to get to faster, right? So let's start off with the white blood cells or the immune cells. You're fighting off infection or you're repairing injury, trauma to muscles or something like that. So the satellite cells are involved in this situation as well. And I don't know why I pointed to my legs on that one, but I think I'm just remembering leg day from a few weeks ago where I was toe up. I was on the floor, okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. But you would want increased blood flow to speed up the recovery process in the sense that or the healing process from infection, or to faster mobilize those cells, so the immune cells, so you'll get sick less often. All right, because they're just going through cleaning, so there's not as much time for the viruses or bacteria to replicate because they're getting taken out. Bang, bang, done. Right. So that to me is a very compelling reason. You get sick less often. But let's just say you do get sick, you will recover faster, right? And so that kind of dovetails into this whole idea of the faster recovery from workouts, right? All the nutrients, all of the oxygen, everything is going to where it needs to get to faster. So it doesn't take as long to heal or recover from a workout. In fact, it actually can help you during your workout. And that's my next one. It could potentially increase or potentially improve workout performance because again, we're getting all the oxygen and all the nutrients to everything, all those things. We're getting them to the muscles, we're getting them to the organs faster. So you will actually feel less fatigued during the workouts, and the recovery process is jump started already, and the recovery process is shortened for some people quite dramatically. So it could be, so put that little caveat there. It could work for you, right? It could be shortened, but that's the idea. Faster recovery from workouts, faster recovery from sickness, sickness preventative measures are basically taken on because everything is getting to where they need to get to faster. Another cool one is you because you have increased blood flow, faster blood flow, nutrients get to where they need to get to, oxygen gets to where it needs to get to, that improves cognitive function. Meaning you get more blood flow to the brain, you get it faster. Well, you keep your focus easier. You can process and calculate and do all those things faster, better, more effectively, right? It's the same thing we talked about when going into on another previous episode. I'm probably going to say that 5 more times, but it's another thing I was talking about when going into the sauna, right? It produces these heat shock proteins and it increases blood flow to the brain, and that's why going to the sauna is really good for counteracting cognitive decline, because it just increases the base note. It increases blood flow to the brain, right? You also get increased blood flow to the skin, so it's less likely for you to have like that dry, itchy skin. Actually, you're gonna have like that kind of like that glow, like the glow. So you're just going to have better looking skin in general because you get all the nutrients, again, oxygen, nutrients to your skin, which is what's your largest organ. But that's not the point. Really, the point is you're getting additional stuff needed to look lively, right? Because, think about it, like, and I tend to look at it this way. It's a little harsh, but it's just like increased blood flow is like increased life. Decreased blood flow is like increased death or decreased life, right? So it's just like you're going to want to maintain some good circulation there, right? And you can tell, like, movement is life, but that's another philosophical idea that, another compelling reason is that you get, by way of a few things, right? So I don't want to overcomplicate it, but you get additional energy. Like you get increased energy with increased blood flow, right? And now the most compelling of all of them, of course, are the sick, nasty pumps. So now that we have all that under our belt, right? We understand what we mean by proper or good circulation or good blood flow, why it's important, and why you would want to increase it, right? Let's talk about ways that you can increase it, and this is where it starts to get really, really interesting, right? So first, like I separated it out into groups, right? So there's level 1, that's the stuff that everybody should be doing no matter what anyway, okay? And that list basically is like it's regular exercise, right? These are the basics. This is your base level of how to increase or how to increase and or maintain proper blood flow, proper circulation, okay? Right? You want to regularly exercise, okay? You need a healthy diet that's not even just like a healthy diet, like a nutrient-dense healthy diet, okay? And with that, you also need plenty of water, okay? And from there, you also want to, and this is kind of a bunch of studies just came out, or maybe one main study, and I don't know how much it's been, checked, right? But you got to move every hour. Every hour, do some type of movement. Like excessive sitting, we already know is bad. But apparently excessive standing is also not good either. So you want to move around every hour, okay? And then you also just want to manage stress, right? Because managing stress allows you to have proper circulation, and it avoids all these other issues that can come up because of the stress. That's your base. That's level 1 type stuff right there. Everyone should be doing this, okay? Now you get to level 2, and level 2 breaks out into, so that these include things that are more along the lines of like the other health stuff. So, I told you that, so that's 1, right? About 4 more times. But go to this previous episode when I talk about the other health stuff. Actually, it's 2 episodes, other health stuff, part 1 and part 2. You can actually partake in some of those things. So it's like sauna, cryotherapy, red light therapy, hyperbaric oxygen chamber, right? Do one of those 4, build up a routine around that, and that's a way for you to increase blood flow, okay? And then the second part of level 2 deals with supplementation, okay? Now, there are a variety of supplements you can take in order to increase blood flow or to get better circulation, all right? And I'm going to start with, and I'm going to just wrap them off, and I'm going to explain them one by one. I have a pretty extensive list here, right? Now, I'm not saying, well, let me give the little disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, all right? And none of these statements, I always suggest you go to your doctor and consult with them to see if this is the pathway for you, right? But I'm just giving you a little bit of information, a little bit of research so that you could take that and run with it, right? All right, so the supplementation that you can go through, right? So first supplement that you can take is L-arginine, right? It basically helps produce, and you're going to see, as an aside, you're going to see a trend here, because one of the things that I really, really want to talk to you about is nitric oxide, right? But that's going to be an aside, right? And we'll get to that. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but we'll get to it, okay? So first supplement, L-arginine, right? It helps produce nitric oxide, which relaxes and dilates the blood vessels. So we're talking about vasodilation, okay? And that allows more blood to flow through bigger vessels, right? So that's a really good way to increase blood flow right up front. L-arginine, right? Next thing you know, you want vitamin E. Vitamin E simply prevents the damage. So I think it's an antioxidant, but it prevents damage to the blood vessels, right? So you want healthy blood vessels, you want flexible blood vessels, you want blood vessels that are a little bit expanded, and that's how you increase your blood flow. These supplements that I'm going to continue listing off, that's what they do, right? Next one, B vitamins. They reduce homocysteine levels and so basically homocysteine is an amino acid that damages the vessels when it's found in at high levels, okay? So basically the B vitamins kind of keep that under control, keeps everything level, all right? And iron's important because it's the main, it basically helps build up hemoglobin, the main protein in your red blood cells. That's carrying oxygen to your muscles and organs. So you see where we're going here. So iron is a decent supplement to use for increased blood flow and increased circulation. But iron is one of the ones you definitely don't want to overdo. If you don't need any additional iron, if you're not iron deficient, then you don't worry about that supplement. Okay, because that gets really, really tricky, especially for dudes when it comes to testosterone. So there's some links between higher iron levels and lower testosterone levels. I did not do all the research into that as of this moment, so I'm not going to go too far into that. But if you don't need extra iron, don't get extra iron. Okay. Then the next supplement is ginkgo biloba. I don't know why I said it like that, but it helps with the vasodilation as well, and it reduces blood thickness. So basically, it's easier so it helps with vasodilation, meaning bigger blood vessels, but it also makes your blood a little less thick, so it's easier to move through those vessels, arteries, and capillaries, right? And it is also an antioxidant, so it protects from damage as well, protects your blood vessels from damage. You also get a little bit of cayenne pepper in here, right? Because that's another one that stimulates nitric oxide or NO production, okay? And turmeric is another one, and that's another one that increases NO production, but it also improves vessel function in general, right? Your omega-3s, omega-3 fatty acids, right? These improve vessel flexibility. That's cool. And it also prevents blood clots. Also cool, right? There's this one supplement called Hawthorne. It's a vasodilator and an antioxidant. So it does, the same thing as I listed before. Ginger, also vasodilator, antioxidant. And beetroot. This is my favorite one, be honest with you. Beetroot. It's one of the best NO boosters anywhere. It's just so it's okay. So let's. That's a lot of supplements, right? And I'm not suggesting you just take all of them, right? You take the ones that you might be deficient in, start there first. So if you're iron deficient, take an iron supplement. Or if you're not getting enough of your B vitamins in general, then you should take some of the B vitamins, right? I think it's B6 and B12, right? So same thing. You can always eat with cayenne pepper, eat with more ginger, and things like that. Make sure you get your omega-3s, because even just beyond improving blood vessel flexibility, they're really good for your heart in general. So get your omega-3s, right? And make sure you're getting enough of your omega-3s. And your vitamin E, same thing, right? So these are all things that are readily available to us, right? And they've already been studied, and they've already been, they have multiple studies backing them. So it would really be, a decent idea to start, maybe form some form of supplementation with these around your programs in general, right? Or just eat the foods that include this, in abundance, right? So, in fact, I actually have a friend who puts cayenne pepper on everything. Now, cayenne pepper is a little bit. I can't do the spice, too much of the spice stuff. But he likes cayenne pepper. I mean, he like, and just but that's his jam. That's his jam. And I'm not mad at him, because cayenne pepper is pretty good for blood circulation anyway. So it is what it is, right? So I mentioned a lot about NO boost, or nitric oxide boosting. Why would we want to boost that in the first place? So, a lot of these supplements basically are NO boosters. And specifically, like, if you're concerned with muscle gain, like I am, right? You want to kind of concern yourself with any of these, like with a lot of these NO boosters for a few reasons, right? Because one, it boosts a whole bunch of what do I call it? Like, it boosts a whole bunch of anabolic pathways, right? So basically, it's really good for muscle growth in a roundabout way, right? So it stimulates the release of IGF-1, and we talked about that before, right? And that promotes muscle protein synthesis, right? So check that off. Muscle protein synthesis. It promotes that, right? Now, it also promotes, and this is what I thought was very interesting, it promotes the release of VGF1 or VEGF. Now, I honestly have never even heard of this before, but it's vascular endothelial growth factor, which supports the formation of new blood vessels. So there's a weird story. Well, not weird story, but a funny story with this one. Back when I first started actually doing, when I first started doing blood flow restriction training, and it was funny because I started doing that, and then coming right off of the blood flow restriction training, I started supplementing with beetroot powder, and I started using that as my pre-workout, because there was this weird thing where I would drink one of those old pre-workouts and it would get like itchy face and everything like that, and just I didn't like it, and I would do blood flow restriction training then, but then it was just like my whole arm would end up itchy, and I'm just like, okay, it's not purple, but now it's itchy, and I'm just like, so at that time I was looking for a new a new pre-workout, and I found out that I had to kind of configure something myself. So I built up my own little pre-workout and with my own little measurements and all that fun stuff. But beetroot powder was the number one ingredient for that. And I started supplementing with beetroot powder. Now I've been doing it for years now. And I just noticed, I'm like, yeah, these veins are a little bit bigger. Like, especially this one vein that goes kind of like from my shoulder all the way on down to like my wrist. And I'm like, that's a giant vein. I'm like, and it's funny because I was like, when did, like, I would actually see it get bigger with each, like month or something like that, right? But I will also form newer like veins. I'm sitting there like, how am I able to see this? The thing is, I wasn't losing like a large amount of fat or anything like that. This was during like bulking season, so I wasn't losing fat. So it's like, because when you lose fat, you're able to see a lot of the vascularity a little bit better, right? This was just vascularity on top of vascularity, and I'm just like, where did these veins come from? And why am I able to see it now? So it was a very interesting thing. Now, again, this is kind of anecdotal, but it was just something that I experienced where it's just like, oh, okay, so nitric oxide aids in the formation of newer blood vessels. And for me, just saying that, it's still kind of mind-blowing a little bit, but I mean, that's what it does. And there's studies that show that that's what it does. So it's awesome. It's awesome. So it's like, not only do you have like bigger vessels, you just turn out to be so vascular. Like, you ever hear that? The gym bros talking about you're vascular, bro. Like, that's what they mean. Bigger veins, more veins, right? Bigger arteries, more art. Like, that's so cool. That's so cool. So it helps in the formation of new blood vessels. It also increases the uptake of amino acids into the cells. And there's a pathway. So that's basically how it helps. It also stimulates muscle protein synthesis, and it goes about that way through that pathway as well. So, we'll keep it going from there. It also helps maintain positive nitrogen balance, which is actually muscle preserving. So if you have a positive nitrogen balance, you're not breaking down muscle tissue as often, right? Because mind you, your body's going through the same process or two processes at the same time, right? It's muscle protein synthesis and then it's muscle protein breakdown, right? So in a positive nitrogen balance, you're slowing down the muscle protein breakdown. And with this NO stuff, you're also increasing muscle protein synthesis. So net, you're gaining protein and you're gaining muscle, right? So it also increases satellite cell activation. Satellite cells are the ones that go out to your muscles to repair and to form new muscle tissues. It also improves endurance and performance by way of delivering more oxygen and glucose to your muscles. Okay, and that's straightforward, right? So you're able to work out with a little bit more intensity, work out a little bit more, recover faster, all that fun stuff is ultimately going to be good for building lean muscle tissue. So there you have it. That's increasing your blood flow, getting better circulation, avoiding poor circulation like it's the plague, because it kind of is, right? And see, like, so in terms of like supplementation, pick and choose. I know the one that I've done for years, for a long, very, very, very long time, and it's one of the best NO boosters that I've ever seen, beetroot powder. It's so simple, and it's good for you. Beetroot powder, a little bit of beetroot powder before, like in my little pre-workout, before a workout, like, and the veins are coming out. The veins are coming out everywhere. I love it. So, again, that's what you do to improve your circulation. There are reasons to improve your circulation, even if you have good circulation, right? Go for it that way. Hopefully it helps. So if you like this segment, here's another one for you. Click over here. And if you want the entire podcast, go this way. Click on that one right there. And once again, I appreciate you. All right, you take it easy.